Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk animated shows and movies here, especially Miraculous Ladybug and the Owl House. Find everything about us at overlyanimated.com. I'm your host, Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Aly Martin.
Hello.
And April Collins.
Hi there.
Today we're talking the three most recent episodes of The Owl House, the pre-season 2 finale episodes, Edge of the World, Labyrinth Runners, and O Titan, Where Art Thou, episodes 17 to 19 of season 2. Spoilers up until this point of The Owl House. We have not seen the finale episodes, if that's what the last two episodes consist of. We don't really know much of anything about them yet. We'll get some speculation for the finale in here as well. But yeah, spoilers up until O Titan, Where Art Thou, and previously. Check out our previous Owl House podcasts. Search for Overly Animated. Also, this week, the Amphibia crew did a podcast on the series finale of Amphibia. Very relevant to many Owl House fans as well, so definitely check that one out. It's really good and really amazing end to Amphibia. Which, if we refer to here, has to be done ambiguously to not spoil the masses. So,
thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to be tempted, but we'll see during the speculation parts.
You could probably say something, and I wouldn't recognize it just because.
Try to keep it vague.
Yeah, I mean, also for the listeners, maybe someone's catching up at some point.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into these latest three episodes. So to start, what did you think of the episodes overall? And how about pick a favorite if you have one, Aly?
Boy, okay, well, I know I keep saying this on every Owl House podcast I'm on that we have, and I apologize for being repetitive, but I really feel like the show just keeps amping up one after the other, and it speaks to how well the plot is being written and how well the characters drive the story. I really liked all three of these episodes. I'm going to say, which was it? Oh, Titan, Where Art Thou was much more, I guess, ultimately uplifting than I expected it to be. Like, it didn't, spoilers, end on a cliffhanger, which I'm used to at the Owl House. If I were to pick a favorite one, I might have to say Edge of the World, because I've been waiting to get King's we have all been waiting to get King's actual backstory.
Yes.
And it's obviously we're going to talk about that in detail, but I don't know how to feel. It's just so concerning in so many ways. I also really like Labyrinth Runners for, like I mentioned, that the characters really carry the story, and like a vague reference to Amphibia, not to the finale, but they make a joke like in season 2 or something like, do you think the main characters are ever missed when they're not in the episode? And it's like, yeah, not really. This episode really speaks to that. Like, Luz was not in it at all, and neither was King or Ida, anybody, and it still flowed so well, and you just love seeing all the characters interact, and Hunter and Willow and Amity, and just Gus. We needed a Gus central episode for so long, and I'm glad he got his spotlight. But I think, Edge of the World, just because of the lore, and I also have a lot of more questions after that, which I also appreciate getting to sit with for a few weeks, and I don't know, they might not be answered even in this season 2 finale, and I'm excited and terrified to see what happens next. But yeah, this show just really keeps going above and beyond expectations, and just I kind of don't know where it's going after a new episode, which is a fun ride, personally.
Nice. Okay, I'm very interested in your King question, so definitely we'll come
how
back to
he
that.
get that big. That's
Okay, well, I don't know if I have an answer to that, but
I have more questions.
Growth,
it's fine.
But other than Titan puberty or something, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's rooted in that. Just a bunch of one-offs from that.
We'll come back to these burning King questions. April, what did you think of the episode? Which one is your favorite?
I think these are not both. All three. Wow, April. I think all three of these episodes were just really strong, and surprisingly Labyrinth Runners, because there's always that worry whenever a show's not focused on the main characters that it seems like irrelevant, but it's not, because we're still seeing characters that we care about, and I just really enjoyed that, just having that episode, and of course, like Gus, exploring more of his powers and everything like that, and just getting to see like the extent of how powerful he can be. I thought that was really great. Okay, so it's a real toss-up between O Titan, Where Art Thou, and Edge of the World, but I really enjoy that those two episodes play into each other just a little bit. I loved watching, and that kind of makes it hard for me to choose between them, because I loved doing the whole King, like, going to figure out, like, is this his family? Is this not his family? I liked watching the co-parenting skills of Lilith and Ida as they tried to figure out what to do with Luz, essentially. And then, of course, take care of King and then Hootie at the same time. So, but Edge of the World was a ride, especially because we do have that tension between Luz and Ida, and I think I felt that just a little bit more than, like, the whole King story, unfortunately. I agree with Aly that we have a lot of questions that we need to have answered, and the Collector just keeps popping up. So
God, yeah, that's actually where most of my questions lie.
Yeah, and so and he's popped up in ways that are completely separate of themselves. So, which, I mean, there's so much that we have to discuss about the Collector, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm worried about the next two episodes in the finale.
Yeah, we're gonna be traumatized.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think Edge of the World is probably my favorite of the three. Okay. Yeah. Just because I love the Luz and, like, Ida relationship, and I love seeing how much it's progressed, and not, since the start of the show, and then it kind of comes to a big, huge, like, culmination within this episode, especially as they're fighting.
In No Titan Wear, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they have some great scenes. Yeah, I didn't know it'd be such a difficult question. What's your favorite? But it's also hard for me too to pick from these three episodes. So yeah, good thoughts there from both of you. I think these are three very good episodes. Not like any three are my favorite of the season. I think, like, if I had to pick, I'd probably say Labyrinth Runners. So I'll represent Labyrinth Runners for my favorite here.
Way to go!
Very impressive. I agree that it is so good without Luz or Ida in it. Very fun, maybe more fun than, like, excellent in my view, but still a ton of good stuff here. I love Hunter in there, love Willow and Amity. Edge of the World, the King reveals are very fun. We'd speculate a lot about that. We'll get to it. There's a lot of fun details in here. I think initially watching the episode, it's the mislead structure sometimes annoys me, but I was surprised, and rewatching it, it's very well seated. Like, it's a fun rewatch, seeing the build up to the thing you don't know is coming the first time. And O Titan is really good. I love the ending. It's very cathartic. We're going to talk about that. I think the animation is really incredible in the Luz Ida fight in the middle of this, towards the end of this episode. It's really, really good. Don't love the Steve stuff as much, but we'll talk about
it.
What?
Oh no! I thought you were going to be singing his praises.
I guess that's the type of character I usually like, so maybe I should be consistent.
Yeah, and also because he's probably Maddie's brother, so, like, what's good? It's just speculation. They have the same hair.
Yeah, I guess am I a Maddie stan? I can't remember. But
yes.
I'm a Gus and Maddie shipper.
So then you have to be a Gus stan by proxy. Maddie stan.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. But in general, I think Owl House continues to be a show for me that more of the sum of its parts than the individual episodes. I think since S2B, I feel like we're lacking, like, super standout, just my opinion, episodes. But on the other hand, since, like, episode 5 of this season, which is still very good, that episode, this show's been so consistent. Every single episode has been very good. Like, literally since episode 5, I would say very good or above every single episode. And in general, we're 2 episodes away from finishing season 2. I'm so continually so impressed by the handling of the lore, Lumity, and the other relationships, the characters. I think we are like a great finale away from nailing an all-time classic season of television. Super high on Owl House season 2. That being said, I think it's interesting. I don't have as many standout episodes, so I'd love if, like, the last 5 episodes were, like, the best 5 episodes of the show. So fingers crossed for me.
You mean, like, you're including season 3's specials?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Which you'd anticipate the specials are going to be great. So
Oh yes,
probably
Well,
a
yeah.
high chance. Yeah.
they have to be the best, right? Probably.
They better be, or we're
And
right.
this finale, like we'll talk about the finale and compared to season 1 and knowing that there's not many more episodes coming, how that might affect it. So we'll get to all that. And also revisit our speculation from last time, as well. But first, let's go over the big events of these episodes. While still being big episodes, I'd say like, a little bit of a, I don't know, Edge of the World, somehow a breather from Hollow Minds. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
in general, these are a little bit of the low key. I like this grouping, low key, more pre-finale regrouping after, big reveals episodes.
And this is
Especially,
still a huge reveal, which makes
Yeah.
it crazy.
yeah, in Edge of the World especially. But first, I mean, I think this is a big reveal too. This just happened. So let's talk about the new rebellion that has been formed, the Cats Rebellion.
Meow meow.
Meow
yeah.
meow.
It's the this is the podcast has been speculating about a rebellion since years. I don't know, it's between a year and 2 years ago. Like
God,
in
it has been a
our
while.
pre-season 2 speculation podcast, we're talking a lot about, will there be a rebellion? Will this be the big plot line of season 2? And like that hasn't really panned out in the way we thought it would be. But now finally, right before the finale, here we are. We have the rebellion. It has finally been formed.
Finally.
Here's our members. It's basically, I think, everyone you would, no real surprises here. We had Rain, Darius, and Eberwolf, who we knew about from previous episodes. We, Luz and Ida and, Lilith, King Hootie joining along with Steve, apparently.
He's the real surprise.
I guess he's the surprise. And actually, in terms of people who show up at the end, I was most surprised by the former Bats members.
Yeah.
Because they were supposedly in prison, right?
But it makes sense that Rain would like convince Darius to let him out because they were the quote unquote first rebellion, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Aly, how are you feeling about this ragtag group of heroes? Question mark.
First of all, wait, what were you going to say?
What are their chances in the finale?
Well, we'll come back to their chances. But first of all, I love that we were right about Darius, Eberwolf, and Rain getting together to get this small group of ragtag heroes together. Second, I love the Cats. It's a really good different name than the Bats, but I have comments about this with Luz's Palisman. That's so unrelated. Their chances, I feel like now that Ida and Luz and Lilith and everybody are with them, they're going to somehow involve Hexside. And this, I think, leaks into Labyrinth Runners because they're definitely against the Emperor's Coven now. They're fighting back against the Coven Heads, the Illusionist Coven Head, was it? And I think if they join up, they actually may have a good chance. But also, you know, season 2 finales, in my experience,
they sometimes don't go well.
They never go well. They never go well, and that's what I love about them because it just gives me a lot of anxiety and a lot to look forward to for the last season. But I think they're going to get pretty far, maybe halfway to where they want to be. On their own, I don't think they stand much of a chance because they have 2 witches who can't use magic. As much as I love the sisters, they are very much at a disadvantage, but they do have 3 of the strongest Coven Heads with them, so we shall see. The Cats is great. I want them to have, they had that banner, I guess, at their base. I want to get that on my door, please. Mystery Shack, make that
seems like a
yes.
Mystery Shack item. Well, let's see if they get a uniform or something. I guess.
Hell yeah!
Luz already has the
please.
uniform.
Well, because they had the. Oh my god! If they model them after her hoodie.
Yeah. What if they all have Luz hoodies? That'd be great.
Because they did with the Bats. They did have the bat masks, so it stands to reason that they're going to model them after.
Oh, maybe they get
Luz's.
new masks. Yeah.
Yeah, and make them purple and pink.
Aww.
That would sell so well.
That's what they're
Make it
you're
happen.
thinking when you're making.
Look,
this. Okay.
we're just coming up with ideas for merch. to
Disney, hire
incorporate
us.
into the show, right?
Like, come on, we're making you free money.
Yeah. If only they continued the show, like that, which is kind of, which we'll talk about.
Only we could have 20
which is
more
an in-show discussion.
adventures.
Yeah.
That's still in this episode, so.
Yes.
Yes.
April, what do you think of this rebellion we've going?
I'm glad to see that there is a rebellion forming, especially because you're sort of left with this whole idea that like Ida and Lilith literally have no idea what to do. And so introducing a rebellion is just, it's just going to be helpful, I think, because how else will we stop the, what is it, the Day of Unity? Wow, brain is not working. But I love that it's sort of like this ragtag bunch, and I definitely think that they'll join up with like the Hexside gang, because in Labyrinth Runners we already saw that they're not about the Emperor and giving him what he wants, and so especially because they were trying to trick all those kids into getting their sigils or whatever, so that's a means of a rebellion right there. And with the headmaster saying like, oh, like these like dual tracks are more successful than I thought they would be, and that it's making the kids like interested in learning. And
I love that for them so much.
Yeah, like I thought that was like such a great moment, and I think that's something that the rebellion can definitely take with it, is like having witches who can do more than just one like skill. And I understand that like going into the different covens is sort of a way to limit the witch's powers, but like how are you going to fare against a huge group of, you know, witches who can do more than one thing?
Right.
So I think that that's going to be like their real advantage is whenever they do, because I can't anticipate that they wouldn't meet up with the Hexside gang. So, and they can all join cats and get matching hoodies.
Yes.
So, but I think like in terms of like chances, like that's going to be their best bet, is if they do like, of course, go grab our other like main characters, Amity, Willow, Gus, Hunter. And I think that even though Lilith and Ida, and despite Lilith now really realizing that she may have been a little bit incompetent as a leader, I think that at least Lilith and Hunter can lend a lot to the groups in terms of like knowing the behaviors of the covens and being able to work around them, especially because we have 2 days until the Day of Unity.
Yeah, so soon.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
Don't like it.
Time has passed.
I felt like it was like months until the Day of Unity.
Don't like it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with both of you that I think this is probably the opening of the next episode, that the Owl House has been super serialized recently, especially. So like we end Labyrinth Runners with this group at school, led by Bump. So I think they instantly join up with the Bump group, and we get Willow and Gus and Hunter and Amity in the mix. And in addition to all the Hexsiders, and notably they didn't end up getting sigils put on them.
Yes.
Yes.
So they are potentially fine once the draining spell starts. So they're very good assets to have. Like the rebellion might have the only non-Emperor's Coven, depending on if the Emperor's Coven is drained as well. People who will be unaffected by the draining spell. So it's good. That being said, I'm much more optimistic with all of Hexside there, but it's also a bunch of kids, and
yeah. But they're so talented.
Wow.
They're so talented. I was waiting to see, would we have any other Coven heads besides Rain, Darius, and Eberwolf? And since we do not, I am not feeling great about this.
Well, so hold on. We have to retract this. We have the Plant Coven head and the Illusion one, and they're no good.
So
How
we
many more are
we
there?
now know those are no good. We need to look this up.
I mean, we don't know where Amity's parents, where they're.
We don't. Yeah, that's we've been talking about that a lot too. We don't know.
Well, I'm wondering because at least his dad, or Amity's dad, and Darius are like rivals, but they'll probably come together.
Yeah, Amity has a brief line about needing to talk to her parents about the use of the automaton abomination box.
And they took her Penstagram away. She can't get on social media anymore, which like good for her mental health.
That's
but,
what
like,
they're
still.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the episode. So I think maybe we're leading to them joining the fight in the specials, Amity's parents. I doubt right away. But I get the sense. We've always kind of like speculated that their incentives might be to oppose Bellows. I mean, really, once you figure out what the reveal is, everyone's incentivized to oppose Bellows, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I forgot if it was established. I'm sorry to go off on a tangent, but does the Emperor's Coven, like, what is there, like, are they allowed to be multifaceted with magic? Because like they have their sigils, but like what do they do exactly? Has that ever been like embellished upon in the show?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because
What's
I was
their
trying
deal?
because I was trying to figure that out as well, because all of the other like covens are their powers are limited to that single track.
Yeah, it's really
But
linear.
but even like when I'm thinking about Lilith, I'm like, I have no idea what
Yeah.
her her strength was. So
I guess for both of them, when they were at Hexside, they both studied potions, right? But then, do they have sigils? I know Ida doesn't. I don't know if Lilith does.
well, Lilith would have the Emperor's Coven sigil.
She would, yeah.
So-
True.
Yeah, I'm looking on the Wikia. I'm not sure, but I think they recruit from all of them. But the Emperor's Coven might supersede their old one. I'm not sure. Anyway,
Do we? What? So I guess, and maybe I just like missed it or don't remember because my brain doesn't work all the time. But does Hunter have a sigil?
He has the Emperor's Coven one.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
So
He is
this
screwed.
just goes back to our speculation from last podcast. One of our theories was maybe Bellos views the Emperor's Coven as the chosen people who will not be killed by the Dreaming
Right.
spell. But that has not really been hinted at by the show to a large extent. So
I mean,
we just
that-
have to see.
Still a possibility. I'm just
Definitely
wondering,
possible.
like,
Yeah.
what their specialty, quote unquote, is,
Well,
or if
it-
they're like they don't have a specialty because they're so cool and bleh.
Well, and it's interesting too because we know that Hunter's powers come through the talisman, and like Lilith doesn't have magic anymore. So
Yeah, Hunter
I
doesn't
guess-
naturally have magic anyway. So
yeah, so
And Lilith
so
also
I guess
uses her
like
talisman for magic, I think. Like she can at
Yeah.
least fly on it.
well, they at least have those, but in terms of like I guess like quote unquote natural abilities, they both lack. And what is the point of putting a sigil on Hunter if unless it was just a formality because he knows that Hunter will not be affected by it because he's not magic.
Yeah, probably there's a reason for having the Emperor's Coven and the Emperor's Coven sigils. I'm anticipating some sort of reveal here, so we'll have to wait and see. I still like our theory that they might be unaffected. It might be a safe marking, or they might be harvested in a different way. We'll have to see, but that is a very interesting thing to track going in. Getting back to some of these things from the rebellion, I wanted to note we get clarification on the Ida's Requiem and Rain and Darius. And we're talking about this last podcast, and we came to the conclusion it probably didn't make sense for them to be in on it before that episode, and that's the direction they go in here. So Darius pulls Rain in after the Rain's Rebellion episode. So but it's implied Darius might have already had something brewing. Just Rain wasn't aware of anything until after that. So I think that was a good way to go with that, and I'm glad we got some further clarification. But yeah, we don't know about the other Coven heads, and I think at this point, I assume we won't get a lot of details, at least in the finale episodes.
I just
but we'll
forgot
see.
how many more there are. There's the potion one, the healing one, and I don't know if there's another one. Construction?
Construction, yeah.
Construction, and then there's the what is it? Like people who can see into the future or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
like
the
fortune
oracles.
telling.
Oracle
Yeah,
Coven.
oracles.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep. So
That's-
there's a few more here.
That's Amity's mom's specialty, I think. But I don't know if she's definitely not the Coven head.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. So
Also-
I thought
Rain and
Amity's
Liz
mom
meeting.
was Abomination.
no,
No, her
she's-
dad is.
Yeah, we got
Oh.
that. We got that clarified slightly. It's how she like communicates / controlled Amity with the necklace. I feel like that was involved
Yeah.
in that. Yeah.
That's
If you look,
right.
if you can see her wrist at some points, they do have the sigil.
Yeah.
It's hard to see though.
Yeah. But yeah, I am still maybe anticipating a failure here in Earth Kingdom Has Fallen moment.
Yeah,
Oh,
in the
no.
finale.
This is exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. So
It's hard not to go from that finale when you have
That's
3
true.
seasons of a show.
Yeah. On the other end, Kipo, I think season 2 ended happy. But
I can't remember.
that show shifted villains into season 3, whereas actually this is a good question, because will we go a Kipo route of shifting villains into the Collector as the main villain, or
Oh,
is Bellos
yes.
still going to be the main villain? We'll come back to that.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
something
like both
we've been thinking.
options.
One other of my favorite aspects of the rebellion scene at the end is Rain and Lou's meeting for the
Yes.
first time.
I know.
It's so cute. I kind of forgot that they hadn't met before, just because we know both of them so well as audience members. But it was
Yeah.
It's very
well,
satisfying.
I'm very glad the show did this. I think this has been lacking for Rain this season. I think it's been apparent for them in contrast to Hunter, who specifically has gone on Zuko-esque field trips with all of the main cast this season at various points. And Hunter, I think, has been incredible at this season. And I think it's just much better narratively for a new character to interact with various members of the main cast. Rain has been really sidetracked just to Ida. And that's been great, but I'm very happy we're going to see Rain's role in the show furthered and diversified here. I'd love to see Rain paired with Luz or someone else in the finale episodes, and someone who's not Ida. Despite loving Rain and Ida, I think
just put them with Skara because they're both bard people.
Skara I'm sure gonna have a big role in the finale.
Absolutely,
she's the planner.
Considering we've pointed this out multiple times that she loves planning blatantly.
It was
she'll
also
probably
pointed
be
out
involved in the plan.
Labyrinth Runners again.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she'll probably be involved. Will we get like a scene around a map or like a board, and they're like, "Oh, here's how we're going to invade," So we'll see. If
ideally, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hope so.
We get it.
We get an entire episode of them role playing out how they're going to
Shira style D&D.
Yes.
Luz will be insufferable if we do that, so I hope not.
You mean adorable? Yes.
It's synonymous with Luz.
She'll roleplay as her character in Romance Amity that way.
Oh god,
it'll be amazing.
Okay, if we get a Lumity roleplaying during the finale, I mean, it'll be worth it, but
it'd be so worth it.
Oh my gosh, we'll come back to Lumity. We'll make sure to hit on them. Okay, so I think we have various aspects of the rebellion to come back to, but I think those are the main things I wanted to get into. Just excited that they're here now. They're finally happening.
I think it's good timing. Like you were saying, like this season has been really well paced. Like even if there hasn't been like a super standout episode, the fact that they're all just really good continuously is great. And I think this fits really well where it is, even if it feels a little late, just because 2 days. It's not a lot of time.
Hootie story is great, by the way. That's the standout. But the
portable Hootie.
Also, just the episode Hootie story, but also like we have portable Hootie now. And seeing the plot, seeing the serialization kind of like this rebellion come together. It's felt like these plot lines intersecting here has felt very natural. The show's done a great job with that, I think.
Yes.
So it feels good. I'm worried we're not going to have a lot of time to spend with them, but I'm sure the last two episodes will be focused on rebellion members and Belos, and we'll be going all in here. What was the guess?
I was right. That Steve is Matt's brother.
Has it been confirmed just
by
now?
Dana herself 6 minutes ago.
Oh my god!
Okay, we get a live reaction on the podcast.
Sorry,
okay.
You can edit that out if you want.
We love when this happens. Dana says, actually, yeah, I'm so happy people caught that since this is one of those small story threads that had to be cut with the shortened season 3. Interesting. The idea was that they're half brothers, and despite the age difference and distance with Steve's job, Matt always looked up to him, hence the haircut. Their little side story wasn't going to be anything big, but it would have been fun to see them interact. Still holding out for a chance to tell more stories, like for more side stories for characters like this. Okay, wow. I didn't expect confirmation on this, but
to do it for him.
Dang, fam.
The responses
the
are
reply,
beautiful.
do it. We're standing Steve. Okay, we'll get back to this.
Yeah, now you have to stand Steve.
I guess so. I would have loved to see a more positive Mule is by the way who we're talking about when we say Matt. Not that that's going to clarify for casual fans because he's a very minor character. Mule, like positive portrayal. He's pretty like still pretty snarky in Labyrinth Runners. He like cuts in at one point.
I feel like especially if the rebellion is going to meet up with the Hexiders, they're going to obviously present him in a more positive light, like not just with his brother, but because he's already been fighting against the Emperor's Coven.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see them hug.
Please.
Will all things be cut now since yes.
Disney let the brothers hug.
Okay, I didn't expect Dana to confirm Steve and Matt brothers as the first thing that we know has been cuts from the shortened season 3. Maybe that's a good sign that half brothers. Maybe it's a good sign that this is the like the scope of thing that is cut. That's that we're able to work everything else in still.
Side character stuff. But it also doesn't bode well for stuff that like we want to see like more of Willow's dads or more of like something else.
Yeah, that type of thing might not happen, but it's okay.
Just sucks.
Yeah. I mean, definitely sucks. We'll talk about it. Okay, so thank you, Dana, for clarifying.
Appreciate you, Dana.
She had the live feed to the podcast, heard Aly talking about this.
She's like, wait, hold on a second. Let me send this tweet.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about King being a Titan. Big topic. So this is something that has been speculated, but I love this as a reveal. It's the type of thing, it's like in the ether, but not top of mind, I think. So I think this hit really well. And I was surprised by the episode. I was kind of tricked by the Titan Trappers not being actual King type people. What about you?
I definitely was. We were super misled with Knock Knock. Was that? No, it was not Knock Knock on Hootie's door. What episode did he eat the letter in? Was it that episode?
I think was it the end? Yeah,
I think it was the end. That's where the
no.
misled started. So like,
I will say that if I've learned anything from any show ever, I've learned to always be on guard when it comes to characters you love. Thank you, Miraculous Ladybug, because I had like the very first scene of that episode is like King having a dream about meeting his dad. And so I was like, okay, like I understand that this is what we're doing with this episode. But then like I was like, oh no, it's all the same. We're just having another fake out. Like especially as like things continue to progress with the Titan Trappers. And almost immediately whenever they said they were Titan Trappers, I was like, oh, okay, like I'm on to you now. I got this. So
yeah, it's a good rule of thumb to just trust no one when you're being fed information.
Yeah, trust no one, especially the show itself. So but it's still like, I mean, it hurt just because King was so upset that the Titan Trappers weren't his actual like family members.
Yeah, very tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
traumatized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tried to sacrifice him.
Failed sacrifice. So sad.
That's depressing.
Definitely like a familiar story archetype to have, like you meet a new group of people and they're not who you think they are. That being said, it wasn't top of mind for me, and I think many aspects of this episode were not what we expected, from the people who looked like King being costumes to the collector being involved. I think was definitely like a little bit out of left field, but I love how it ties into what else is going on here. And there's very interesting stuff to speculate about that.
There's so much to speculate now that King is a Titan.
Well, how do we feel? How do we feel about him being a Titan?
I just have so many questions. How old is he? How old is he going to be when he gets that huge?
Okay, so what's the timeline on the maturation process?
What was up with that cave with the like Francois and Jean-Luc? Not Francois, the Jean-Luc like rock dudes, like. What kind of beings are lots of questions? Yeah,
from episode 3.
Also, there's so many new possibilities now too because King is a Titan. Like, technically, Luz has an endless supply of Titan blood.
Titan's blood, yep.
So... Oh God! How did that not come up when they tested his blood and knock on Hootie's door? Because they did test his blood and they said we don't know what you are, but we know what Titan blood is.
Well, they probably never like. Had that compare, you know what I mean? Like it never probably
I guess before
like crossed their mind because they were like, the Titans are gone. Like we're living inside the remains of the last one.
Okay, who knows how Hootie's tests work? You know,
that's also true.
Your note that Luz says, or King remembers her saying, "You're the son of the Boiling Isles." I thought that was like, because we've been there before with like Luz remembering like how her mom.
Yeah, let me set this up. So let me set this up. So there's a flashback. This is something the show has done before. What Aly just referenced with Luz's mom. That we flash back to a previous episode, but actually something different happens in the flashback. Or
like the dialogue is different.
Than what actually happened. And so in Edge of the World, Luz just tells King, "You're a Titan." But then in O Titan We're Out There, when King is remembering this, presumably is the implication, he remembers Luz saying, "You're the son of the Boiling Isles," which she did not say in the previous episode. So I love this device the season has done multiple times. And this is like a very complex narrative device of a character remembering something differently, emotionally charged, memory altered, being different. I think that's a super interesting way to go with it. And so now this begs the question, is King actually the son of the Boiling Isles Titan? Or is he just speculating us? I mean, I think it could be, and the answer could be yes to both of them. That's kind of my guess. I think he doesn't necessarily know for sure that he is. I don't think anyone's confirmed that to him. That's just what he's imagining.
I think either way, that's some type of ancestor of his, whether it's his father or not. I mean,
I want to know about also I agree with you, Dylan, that I think it's probably just him projecting or manifesting. But I want to know about the other Titan that's not on the Boiling Isle, that's not the Boiling Isles Titan, the one that they teleported to through the finger or whatever. What in the hell is up with that? And who is it? How many Titans on the planet are there? What is going on? I want more lore.
Yeah, so we have the Titan that at the end of Edge of the World, King is kind of talking to a smaller one. And then there's also the Titan that, so they go to a finger of a different Titan. So that's maybe a third Titan. And then they portal to a different place. And then we see a presumably Titan or some other creature that we previously saw in Knock 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 on Hootie's door. And to clarify something we said in a previous podcast, probably that scene that we saw in that episode, this ancient scene with the Owl Beast, was the Owl Beast itself's memory, is the implication, not confirmed. So they teleport to the place where the Owl Beast was in the past, that got caught by the Collector, and now that's where the Collectors kind of worship Ease, or if that's a word, are.
So it's that may be his origin place, that's where, not where he was born, but maybe where he had his first following or something. I want to know how they connect.
It could be where the Collector's from. It's not clear where this place is. They go away. They go somewhere different.
Is that place? It's confusing because the whole skeleton of the Titan or whatever is in that place, but then the hand of it is on the other side.
Yeah, I'm not sure if those are the same Titan. I'm not clear on that.
I assumed that it was, and that's how you teleport with it, because you have a little piece of the rock from.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense.
Bone, I guess. I just want to know how it was teleported over. Did the Collector do it so he could get two different Titans and just use all their powers to become whatever he is and be all powerful to travel between realms, or just travel on different parts of the world? I have no idea.
My guess would be this is the place they go to that the Edge of the World takes place, and that's where the Collector is from, and where his base of operations is set up. And that's different. That's a different place than the Boiling Isles, which is where that Titan died. That's all I got, is that's probably where that's a place associated with the Collector. That's kind of what we know. Is it a different continent in the demon realm? It's not the same continent as the Boiling Isles. Is it a completely different realm altogether? I don't know. I don't know any of this.
It's fun to speculate, though. This is what I appreciate about it being serialized.
Yeah. That being said, I do bet that the Boiling Isles Titan is King's dad, even though it's not. King doesn't know this for sure.
It's not explicitly said.
Yeah, I bet he's right, because that's the most relevant Titan to us. So I think it makes the most sense to do that.
Yeah.
The place where Ida found him, she said, it was definitely on the Boiling Isles, but she said the island just appeared, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting.
So it could. This is the world of magic. Anything is possible.
No, it is. I'm just
because I just assumed that the finger that they teleported from or whatever. I was like, oh, that's probably a port key kind of nonsense.
Yeah. But then was if he is the son of the Boiling Isles, was he just hiding him because he knew what they would do, and then he just revealed it because Ida's a good person? Who knows? I don't know.
That's possible. Just waiting to hatch their son until the right moment.
Hatch their son.
But then
I don't know how Titans are produced. So
he was hatched.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of details we don't know. We'll hopefully get some answers.
What's their incubation period?
Apparently we have a lot of questions on the timeline. Yeah. It's fair. So I guess this relates to what I have to say. I love King being a Titan. I love King having a huge significance, and a Titan specifically.
Me too.
We'll tie into other things probably that the season has going on. It ties into the location of the show. That becoming more important, I think, is really good. King not just being this wacky sidekick, it's very satisfying. I love when shows do that. Placement.
he just has so much significance now.
And now especially
and it's probably going to
that,
tie into the Collector and Bellows as
they
well.
did that ritual, and now he's connected with the Collector.
Yes.
Yep.
So yeah. But then King has those powers. So
he's got Titan blood.
Titan blood. Yeah. It really ties several disparate plot threads together that the Owl House has going on. So I think this is a great move. And I was going to say, I love that this brings up the notion that was posited at the end of Edge of the Worlds that are Titans even evil? How much have you been making up? So they say to Bill. I love.
It's a question. Like,
Titans might be good. That's so interesting.
There's no way they're evil because they're living on it, and like it produces life, it produces magic.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they're doing that on purpose.
But that's just like its nature.
Yeah, but also none of those people were alive when Titans were.
True.
So, like, shut up.
I don't think the Titan Trappers can matter. Yeah, I agree. So
I think
really,
it's
just
one of those like
said.
through the years, that's the story that's been told,
mm-hmm.
and then that's where like King gets the idea of like he's like, I don't want to be scary. No, I don't think you are. So and you don't have to be.
Character development. King doesn't want to be a king anymore. He doesn't want to be this emperor, right? He wants to be normal, I guess. Yeah.
He's just a soft boy.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, yeah, actually acting like a child now.
He is a child.
That's why I'm like, I want to know how old he is and how old he has to be to become huge.
Right. So will King change forms in the last 5 episodes of the show?
Or like potentially in the last episode of this season because of the connection with the Collector. Maybe he's going to like force him to grow or something terrible.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, we can talk about the Collector. And even if King stays the current size, will he, in a potential epilogue flash forward, be giant? That would be very cool to see as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very exciting to see King as the Titan. We can talk about how that ties into some other stuff, but we've been talking about the Collector, so let's talk more about the Collector. I love how these 3 episodes present several different mentions of the Collector and the role of the Collector. I've been worried that we wouldn't have time to get into a lot with the Collector, but we're really going hard into various aspects, at least hinting at various aspects of this new person.
Mm-hmm.
I think the hints give away so much more than we think they do, because the Collector, is very much involved with like Emperor Bellows, and now we know that he's involved in the Titan Trappers. And really, it just seems like he just wants to be free, and he's willing to make a deal with anybody that will help him. Succeed in that. And so we don't necessarily and there's obviously a reason why the Collector is locked away in some regard, but we don't know what that is.
That's the part that confuses me so much, especially with the Titan We're Out There opening.
Yeah, so let's recap some information with the Collector. There's a lot going on here. So in Edge of the World, the Titan Trappers are revealed to have worshipped the Grand Henchman, who's the Collector, and they're trying to free him using the last Titan's power, using King's power. Now, from the previous episodes, we know from Hollow Mind, we know that Bellows is trying to free the Collector.
They also used the same disc that he used in the past. I think it was just broken.
Yeah.
Oh, they have the disc? Is that the thing?
Or
King
there
is
may be
lighting
multiple
up?
Of them. They're just like scattered across the world.
It could be an insignia, could be the same thing. So the interesting question is the Bellows attempt to free the Collector related at all to the Titan Trappers' attempt to free the Collector? I think April posited no.
I was also wondering no, because when Luz brought up to the Titan Trappers that she was trying to like start a rebellion against Bellows, they were like on her side, mostly because King was asking for it and they assumed that he was one of them. But like, I don't know if they're allies, but
they didn't seem to know Bellows, or care about him. I mean, Bill knew him.
I really do think though that like the Collector's like anyone who can possibly make this happen. Like he knows that he needs an immense amount of power to be set free. And if the Titan Trappers are trying to kill Titans, like
they called him the Huntsman or something.
The Grand Huntsman, yeah.
The Grand Huntsman, yes.
Something else we know about the Collector from the Hootie's Door episode is that the Collector captures the Owl Beast. So potentially that's a hunt, hunting various magical things. So that could be related. My guess is also that the collector just has his hand in multiple cookie jars, and that the Belos attempt is not related to the Titan Trapper's attempt. He just wants to be free regardless, and I think these are two different attempts. That's my best guess based on the information we have. But what is interesting is the Titan Trapper's attempt could provide information about Belos' attempt, because the Titan Trappers need the Titan's power to free the collector, so potentially Belos also needs the Titan's power. And I think that this is supporting evidence for our big theory from the last podcast, which, if you've not heard it, is that the Day of Unity will use the draining spell, channel all that magic, in order to remove the Boiling Isles Titan from the demon realm, potentially thereby getting rid of magic, which could be Belos' motivation since he hates magic. And now the next step is, since we know that you need the Titan's power to free the collector, you're using the power of the Boiling Isles Titan to free the collector. So I see this, if anything, as supporting evidence. But it's interesting. We get Belos is going to use the Titan in some way. I mean, honestly, that was already revealed because they're going to the head of the Titan, so we already knew that.
I wonder if he just is like using, because all of the witches get their power from the Titan and from growing up on its decaying corpse, essentially. Yes. And so I wonder if it's one of those things where like the Titan Trappers had a purpose. They're looking for a baby Titan, right? And the Titan has to, I mean, think about how powerful a full Titan must be to sustain a magical world for who knows how long. Right. And so that, I mean, in a way, it's almost like Belos is doing exactly what the Titan Trappers are, because that's got to be an insane amount of power that's trapped inside of King that just hasn't been unlocked yet. And so the collector's like, okay, well, the Titan Trappers are going after a baby Titan. That's going to be enough power to set me free in and of itself. Whereas like Belos, in order to have that same amount of power, has to drain every single witch from like of their current power. And I mean, it doesn't really necessarily say like, okay, what about like people who don't have sigils, or I'm going to say even younger children who may be on the Boiling Isles who aren't like at Hexside yet. Sure. So I feel like they're like trying to do the same thing because that's all that the collector needs them to do.
If what I was thinking, if Baby Titan, if like King can free the collector, what could Big Skeleton Titan do? I feel like that's more than enough power, and then some to free the collector. So that makes me worried about what their plan is after the collector's free. Maybe the collector's going to harness that additional energy for some nefarious purpose.
But you can't kill something that's already dead. So that's
thinking emoji.
Why,
yeah.
Because that's probably why Belos has to drain from the witches, because you can't kill a dead Titan.
Well, so the Titan is it's alive in terms of its magical effect, so you can harvest. I think the magic from the sky. I mean, you can harvest the magic from the decaying corpse, and then maybe the corpse goes away. This is all theoretical, but I think we're going to expect something big like this with the
Then why wouldn't Belos just try? Like, why does he need to drain the rest of the witches if he already has?
Right. So the idea. So let me. Right. So he needs to drain magic from everyone in order to get rid of the source of the magic, in order to get rid of magic altogether, because he hates magic.
That basically sounds way too complicated for a Disney show.
I mean, look, and I think we're about to see new levels of complicated in the last 5 episodes. I think something as complicated is going to happen.
You're not wrong. I just feel like that's really complicated.
We'll see. There's not whatever they're doing. It's not clear, right? Like there's no big hinting yet. So I do think this is just speculation. We'll come back to this. Let's bring the King aspect of this, because this relates. So as we mentioned in Edge of the World, King establishes a connection to the collector as a prerequisite to the sacrifice, but they escape. But the connection seems to still stand, because in the beginning of O Titan, we have a dream that King has of the collector inside a cage that many people have said looks like some form of Pokeball.
God, that's what it reminded me of. At first, that was like a weird crib, but a Pokeball.
It's like a crib, I think, yeah. But maybe most importantly, it looks like the Collector is inside the realm from yesterday's lie, which we know as the In-Between. So
that reveal also had me reeling because I thought it would be so irrelevant. I thought it was a mistake. I mean, obviously it was a mistake on Luz's part, but I didn't think it would come back like this. And that means that was his voice talking when she was like trying to get to the human realm.
The Collector's trapped in the In-Between. This maybe implies that that's the Collector's voice we heard in yesterday's live.
Totally is.
Let me bring up, we had additional speculating on our Discord after our last podcast, and we have addendums to our previous theory. Michael speculated that actually what we need the portal door for is not to open a realm to the human realm, which Bellows doesn't want to necessarily go back to, or maybe he does, but maybe he could have done that already. And the portal is actually a door to the In-Between. He actually wants to go to the In-Between. That's where the Collector is. We're trying to free the Collector. But, okay, so that, to me, that's like very likely now.
Yeah. No.
Next question, is the In-Between inside the dead Titan? What if the In-Between is a realm inside the Titan? Is that where the Collector is trapped? Because the Collector says in Hollow Mind that they're trapped like beneath these bones.
In the bones.
Mm-hmm.
So presumably the Collector is trapped by the Titan. What if the Collector is trapped inside the Titan? What if this realm is inside the Titan?
Oh my god.
So that in that way you have to destroy this In-Between realm in order to free the Collector. And that means destroying the Titan. That all kind of ties together in my head. But I love bringing the In-Between in here. This was very exciting to see. And very clear this realm does have additional significance now, yeah?
What was
You just blew my mind.
I know. And I'm over here still... The Collector makes me think of... there was that one character from Adventure Time. I can't think of him, but he was in the yellow box or whatever, and he was essentially yes.
Oh,
like
he's only but a shadow. Yeah, it seems.
I was also thinking of Prisma recently from something else, but yeah.
How is he able to like? This is the part that kind of confuses me. He's able to talk to Bellows and like project himself as a shadow.
Right, so he seems to be able to project himself into the demon realm, even though he's in the In-Between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then he's not fully trapped. Or I guess, Bellows has been like helping him not be fully trapped over the years because he's been alive for too long.
Maybe the getting that wheel in the past at least enables him to talk to him or something. I don't know, but it's very interesting.
Maybe he formed a connection with him like they did with King, but it's like it went wrong because he's not.
Oh yeah, maybe it's a connection. Yeah, or is it just that the Titan is the only one that can form a connection? Is King's connection
properly
with the Collector only because the Collector's trapped in a Titan? That's why King can connect.
Oh.
I want to know what happens. I don't want King to die, obviously, but I'm curious if it would, I guess just killing him would have freed him, period. Which,
but there was something with, like, a ritual that was taking place.
Right, so they told him to light the not the talisman, whatever it is, the mirror thing. And then the connection was formed, and then they were gonna kill him. So
yeah, but he's not trapped under King. He's trapped under maybe King's dad. What's interesting is that Bellows' plan doesn't seem to involve King that we know of. That's what's confusing.
Because Bellows doesn't know that
presumably,
King exists,
unless the Collector,
and two, that King is Titan. So
yeah, I guess the Collector doesn't even know that King is a Titan or just has seen.
Well, because King that's why in that like dream or. I don't
Collector's like, who's that? Yeah,
he's like, who's there?
Yeah, they're confused about who's there. Yeah.
I just assumed they couldn't see him.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's possible if the Collector saw King, the Collector would know that that's a Titan as someone who has hunted Titans before. It's just that King is not on the Collector's radar. Also, the Collector would have told Bill if he knew who King was. Bill was surprised that King was a Titan, Mm-hmm. So not that they're reliable, but I think King's not part of plans, but maybe will be now. Now we're
the other thing is that the Titan trappers all looked like King, so like. He made him.
He could have just thought he was a Titan trapper, like the Titan trapper. So
he could have also been confused if he had maybe actually seen King and didn't just like hear a voice. That he was just like, "Who are you? Like, why are you here? Like, how are we interacting?" Because that's not how he understands his ritual to exist.
Yeah. So interesting possibilities with the Collector here. I think we're anticipating the Collector gets freed in the finale. That would be my guess, which is pretty scary.
Like 99% sure.
I just don't know who he is. It sounds bad, but I'm like,
he's just a little dude.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm kind of not threatened by you until you become real. Like,
Famous
I'm more
last
concerned
words.
about Emperor Velos, like, draining the magic from everybody because that's
more
an
of a
actual threat.
Yeah. Well, that is in order probably to free the Collector.
Right.
Kind of tied
like,
together.
Who's the Collector? For all we know, he's just some dude who just got wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, it's interesting. Since the Collector seems ancient before potentially even witches were on there. I mean, that's not confirmed at all, but like could even predate witches in the Boiling Isles. The Collector could be some other sort of species, like that's not witch, not human, not demon.
He could just be a dude.
Yeah, and we're waiting for the potential. Are witches humans? We've been thinking that the Collector could predate any of that nonsense.
I just thought of a terrible crack theory.
Yes.
I love it.
Collector is Luz's ancestor. That's the worst crack theory I've ever come up with, and I apologize.
Is this a spin-off of the Bellos is Luz's dad type of thinking? Is Luz descended from the Collector? Interesting. So yeah, another thing with the Collector is people think the Collector will possess Luz, which no further word on that. But if the Collector's freed, then free reign.
We're assuming that because of Dana's art, right?
Yeah. Which, by the way, my thought on that is I don't think Dana would spoil it by drawing that.
I would hope not.
I'm a little skeptical. I'm pretty skeptical of this theory. Anyway.
Yeah.
Unless this was like a fun hinting at something that would be fun to see. I don't know. Okay, a lot of fun stuff coming at the Collector. We've been I don't think we need to have like a separate section because we've been speculating on the finale this entire time. But Day of Unity coming, we think it could be bad. The Collector could be freed. I already rehashed our big theory of magic going away. The rebellion. I mean, what's their plan? We think they'll meet up and with the Hexside people. Any further thought on like what are they going to storm the castle? Are they going to do something else? Like, I
think. Just go. I don't think they're gonna plan to like. From what Luz is like trying to accomplish, it seems like she just wants everyone to know that he's a liar. So then everyone will just back her and not listen to him anymore. So I think they're gonna try just exposing him to be like a witch hunter. But I don't know how they're gonna do that because they don't really have quote unquote solid evidence because like they were just in his mind and that's how they know. But I don't know if they're gonna try to like beat anybody up or like kill anybody because that also doesn't seem like it would be in line with Luz's character. But I don't know how they would go about trying to expose him, like read him to filth because they don't have anything on him physically.
Yeah, we could bring in a theory that I've seen going around that tying in the Labyrinth Runners, Gus's powers could be used to.
Yeah, those also confuse me.
So Gus has powerful illusion powers potentially tied to his anxieties, that his eye glows up. We see in the episode Hunter gets into the episode and his bad memories are projected from Hollow Mind. What if Gus has an episode and has it projects the blue light onto Bellos? That would project his potential, his past. What if Gus does his illusion powers and we see the actual moment where Bellos murders his brother?
I love
projected out to everyone.
I love that so much.
Yes,
I can't tell you how much I love that. But also, I'd hope it wouldn't be triggered by like Gus having an episode. I hope that
I hope he can control
Willow and Hunter might help him try to keep it under control or like get it under control and use it to his advantage.
Yeah, I hope so too. Not clear on the details of his powers, but that's
I love that. Show murder.
Show murder to the kids. Yeah, let's do it. Or him being nefarious in other ways. But if it projects your like worst memories, I think it would show that. Probably. Yeah.
Or if it's his worst memory, it would be his brother, quote unquote, betraying him for a witch.
Yeah.
And then
we could just see the whole. That is how we could see the further because we only saw the history of the brothers in these background paintings. This is how we could see it in actual like flashback form in the show. That's like a mechanism that we could see like in movie form.
I really
whether it's in the finale or in the specials, I don't know.
Because it makes me. I wonder because when Dana was pointing out like she was glad that people noticed the paintings in the background and like props to the production team for fitting them in. It sounded like she was hinting that like they didn't have time to actually show it outright, but if they're gonna pick one scene, it should be that one, like when he kills his brother.
Yeah, you got to think of some part, an important part or two of it will be shown. Yeah, I assume there's more details
hope
there,
so.
maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Of note, though, Dana didn't make like a post that she just made about, we didn't have time to fit in Bartholomew's brother, like it's not that specific. So anything's in play, I feel like, that has not been mentioned. That's not this
True.
brother connection.
Literally anything can happen.
Any other Day of Unity or Rebellion speculation here?
Going on that your note about Lumity, are they gonna kiss in the finale?
Okay, let's talk about Lumity
Yes.
because we've been shortchanging Lumity a little bit in our recent podcast. Shockingly, I've actually been.
Well, not really, because they haven't been really in the same place.
Yeah. So
the past
this group of
episodes.
episodes, we don't get any Lumity because they're not together, except for them texting each other.
We
with
get
hearts.
them. That counts.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that counts. I agree.
I think that's great.
So what's gonna happen with Lumity? Let me give you my wish list, the updated Lumity wish list.
Okay.
Just for the last 2 episodes, right?
Okay,
Of
so
the season or
of
whole
the show. I mean, look, I don't think there's a lot we need to do left. I think they've had such a complete arc.
No.
One, kiss
Yes.
on the lips, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
They have kissed each other on the cheek this season. 2, fight together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 things I want to happen in the finale.
Well,
3,
I want them
Promise
to
meant
fight
together.
together more than anything.
I know. I really hope we saw it briefly in Follies.
We
the
need
Kevin
we need
Bacon.
another Grom, very smooth animation section of just them, but also
Yes.
all the kids fighting together.
Yes.
Yes. And then two additional wish list items for season 3, which is I want them to discuss their future again after they did in Follies, which I assume they will, and an epilogue thing, which I think is also coming.
Yes.
See them in the future. But really,
Good
I mean,
wish
look,
list.
if we do like these four pretty things that are likely to happen, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then I think this is an incredible.
I'm just
ends up being
like,
an
when is
incredible
it?
arc.
My question is, when is the kiss? Because everything follows after that, or maybe not. Maybe the future conversation happens before that, like rehashing their future.
I was like, I feel like the future conversation's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be so
And
upset.
then
but
they'll kiss.
And then they'll kiss. But I feel like they'll kiss in like a
Is this gonna
No.
be a Day of Black Sun-esque kiss?
yeah.
Well, okay, let's bring it up. So when oftentimes you kiss before the invasion, but right before you charge in the finale. So it could happen next episode on Saturday, or you
God.
kiss after
I'm
you
not
win.
ready for that. I'm not emotionally prepared.
Or your end guitar you hug at the end of book 1, so it could
Oh.
happen at the in the finale right at the end. Except we think they're going to lose, so that'd be a weird time.
They'll
Or
kiss just before they lose.
lose or lose, yeah.
To soften the blow.
Look,
Sorry.
we lost, but we're together. Look, that'd be great.
Yeah, we have
Um,
each other.
Yeah. Or it could be like, presumably from the book 2 finale up until all 3 specials won't be like full throttle all the way. There'll be some downtime. So that might be the most likely time in the specials as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the question, is it 2 episodes left? Is it coming, Aly? Yes or no?
I don't know.
Okay, this is what I imagine. They'll be reunited. Liz and Amity.
In the specials? Or no, here. No,
No,
they'll be
here.
reunited here, yeah.
They'll be
Right, the
reunited
rebellion's gonna come
here.
together. They're
They'll
going to be
come-
a bigger rebellion.
Yeah, so it'll be a big rebellion, and then at some point, part of the plan, they will have to separate again. And before they do that,
They'll
have to,
Yeah,
like-
that's my bet. That's why I was thinking Day of Sun or Day of Black Sun.
Like right at the end of episode
Right
Yeah.
before the
20.
battle, they
like right before the battle, and they have to part ways.
get together and plan.
And it'll be one of those like really tender moments where they're like, what if we don't see each other again? And it's like, we'll see each other again. Don't worry. And then kiss and then separate. Like, nailed
Okay,
it.
I'm
Done.
I'm in.
Pay me my money.
You wrote it. That's called a fanfic, April.
Disney,
People
pay
don't
us our
get paid
money.
for that.
No,
We wrote
Disney, pay me my money.
April, it's called a fanfic. That's
No.
we're not
Not
charging
if
for
it's
those
real.
these days.
Then
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
Not
I
if
was
it's
gonna
real.
say, I'm gonna feel you like die just a little bit inside whenever it actually happens.
No, will be very happy if this
Diane,
happens. I
No,
love-
Yes,
you'll
we're gonna
be
ascend.
happy, but you'll remember this moment.
Well, now I will. Now, once you bring it up multiple times, so you have to remember.
You will ascend.
Ascend to a higher plane and remember it the entire time.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, look, they're gonna reunite here if the the Hexside group meets up with the rebellion, which we think will happen. So that will necessitate. I mean, look, first and foremost, I just need them to interact in a major way in the finale. I'm a little scarred after the season 1 finale when Amity was sidelined. Even though I saw coming, I still like the show. It still has so many plot elements, and it's been so good this season at integrating them. Especially Amity. Amity this season, Amity integration. She had a whole episode with Hunter and Ida. In the first half of the season, she just had in these 3 episodes an amazing plotline with Willow. So we have seen Amity integrated into non-loose plotlines, pretty in a significant way.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So Amity probably will be in part of the final fight, in some form that's not dependent on Luz. But that being said, they'll still reunite and have to see each other, and the show has to address that. And then there'll be the opportunity, I agree, because even if the show doesn't want them together in the last episode of the season, because we have to do some heavy stuff with Bellows, you do have that moment before they part again. I love the idea from April here.
This is still what makes me think this, like, they kiss in the season 2 finale, and that's why we have the 3 specials. Like, no one's going to convince me otherwise.
Look, yeah. I don't think it was, if I don't think it's solely precipitated by one. I mean, look, if Disney is just now realizing that Luz and Amity are together and they're gay, then they've been very behind on the times, because this whole season has been that.
It's true. But, like, you can censor it a certain way, and they have been, obviously, up until now.
Yeah, other countries, but it's not, it's not like
well,
Disney
not
US
even other countries, like, just not Lumity, just in general, like, queer couples. They find a way to get around, like, having a kiss at the end of the show, or, like, no kiss at all, just hand-holding.
Yeah, what's interesting compared to other queer couples we've seen is you can sometimes you only get away with a kiss or a moment right at the end of the show. That's kind of how it's
And they
gone.
do not say girlfriend or boyfriend if they're a queer couple, ever.
Right, and Owl House is the opposite, right? So, I mean, their final hurdle is going to be that they can't kiss? Like, that's the part that actually has happened in the past, But
It's
not
true.
in the season 2 finale, but in the like at the very end, the Korosami moment. That's the network's finally like, okay, we don't care anymore because the show's
over, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, there's zero reason to think
They're
this would be censored.
we already canceled this show. You can
But
let
yeah,
your
of course, there's
characters do
the
whatever.
fact that they cut it short. So let's address. So the episode addresses that. I was shocked.
I
good.
loved it.
It did go over my head the first time, I'll admit, but, like, it was really good.
That was the only thing I remember.
I
the
enjoyed
first
it
time.
so much in that moment. I rewound it and listened to it again.
20
I
more
think
adventures when?
So,
Do you want to have a beach day?
Ida says, "Are you sure you want to do this for a stuffed toy?" Side note, yes, I do. Ida continues, "Wouldn't you rather have a beach day?" Lou says, "Maybe if we had time for 20 more adventures, but we don't."
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
This is so good because I'm constantly asking in these situations, did they know the show was ending at this point early? And to address that in the show in a meta, hilarious way is so amazing.
It's
really
a power
love it.
move. It's a good power move.
It's a power move. I mean, look, we have the beach day joke. That's great because Owl House is totally the type of show that would a beach episode.
And Dana also made beach day fan art of Lumity before.
And we are really robbed.
Yep.
We're robbed of the beach day. Let's be real.
We
And
were!
the baseball
God.
episode. We're robbed of so much here.
Yeah. Give us our beach day.
This is not an anime.
This
There's
is
no
the
beach
only
day.
have, like-
vacation we get all year.
Even, like, if they did a whatever episode that was of Avatar, one of the last ones where they had 5 minutes on the beach, that would be fine.
We're robbed of our parody play.
No.
Yep.
That could
What
still
would it
happen in
even
the
be
specials.
called?
These are the classics. of
The Owl
shows.
Children.
The owl children.
Instead of the Owl
Owl
House.
yeah. I will say this does not answer my question. Did they know? Because I wonder if this joke was inserted late in the process.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I still feel
It's-
like they didn't know until.
Hard
not
to
the
imagine
end,
when the initial script was written.
Yeah.
That they knew, but impossible this joke was in there right from the start. But there is time during the process where they can insert stuff. Maybe this replaced a previous joke. That being said, at least they knew this and were able in a time where they're able to like significantly change the episode. So this gives me hope that like the finale will also be reflective of the fact that there's only,
The
3
season 2
specials left
finale?
after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Maybe they're able to construct it slightly in such a way which behooves the shortened runtime in the next season to finish the story.
Yeah.
Regardless, it was an incredible moment. One of the best jokes of the show.
It's so good.
I loved it.
I hate it, but it was so good.
But yeah, Lumity kiss. I mean, God, I think they're gonna fight together in a small way.
They better.
I mean,
They're gonna have a few shots at least. They have to.
Yeah.
I will just hate if we don't get to see them fight together until like
We also have to
season
get
3.
Hunt Low fighting together because that one shot in Labyrinth
Such
Runners
a priority.
had
Oh,
and
yes.
I was screaming, man, they're a good ship, and he blushed when he saw her or thought it was her. They're a really good ship.
Come back to Hunt Low in a second. Last question, since we've been shortchanging Lumity, how has Lumity been this season? There's only 2 episodes left, so we have perspective on 19 episodes this season. How has this arc been? For me, the answer is, yeah. I mean, like this has been beyond my expectations for the amount of screen time and quality content that we would see from them this season.
It's been beyond my expectations of how well they represent not just a queer couple, but a couple, and especially since they're kids. Like,
yeah,
I think
Like
it's
a
great
young
that
couple.
Yeah, exactly, and they are very like healthy with each other with their boundaries. Even though Luz lies sometimes, Amity does confront her about it, and then they talk it out. They're like not contacting each other 24/7 because they do have their own lives to live, even if they're intertwined and chaotic at the same time. I think it's great that we like see them text when they're not in the same place. They feel so real. This is obviously the realest I've seen for a queer couple represented on television or animated television, but just like a young couple in general. I think they're done very well. Like, y'all know how to write romance.
Like a healthy young couple.
Mhm.
Like not just a young couple,
toxic
because
one.
we do have like their moments where, like I love how Luz like texts Amity like a million like emojis, like that's how she communicates with her. And Amity's like, well, there are some heart, or what is it? No, Gus calls out that there's hearts in there, and he's like, what are those?
Stop sliding into my DMs, Gus.
Right? But I do like, even though obviously we could have more content of the two of them together, the amount that we get is so good, and I don't know.
It just flows so well.
Yeah, it flows like
They're very realistic.
yeah, it's realistic. It's I can't get over the fact that how healthy it is. Like,
Yeah.
Luz lies, Amity calls her out on her, they talk about it. Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to see
adults
more
don't
of
even
the
do
opposite,
that.
honestly. Like, I know
Well-
Amity doesn't really have a lot to lie about, but it's not
Well,
really
and then
fair.
even like the fact that, okay, we haven't seen them together, but we still see that they're interacting with each other.
Mhm.
But they're also like, their lives aren't falling apart because they're not with each other. And I
Mhm.
think that's just so like
It's important
good.
for people to see.
Yeah, like it's good to have like that independent representation. Like, just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that that person's your entire life, and you're able to function as a human or a witch without without your significant other. So I think I don't know. I love that type of representation.
It's great. And I love how they still get flustered by each other all the time.
I know, the little blushes.
Definitely. Yeah, and in Follies, we had Luz not immediately wanting to reveal what happened in yesterday's live, but they address it in the same episode in a really healthy conversation. That was incredible.
So good.
I mean, just looking at this back at the season, just with some perspective, they got together in episode 8. They've been together interacting as a couple since then. The only maybe thing that hasn't gone quite as expected is they haven't been on dates, but they've been on essentially dates, right? Like they've had, and I think this speaks to like the realism of them being 14. They're not like asking each other out, going on traditional dates. I mean, it's also like a fantasy show happening, but they're like just together in situations, and we see them,
and that counts as a date.
And
They're
it's basically a
tackling
date. We
life
see them
obstacles together.
Yeah, we see them go after the author of the books, and that's essentially a date. We see them go into the abomination contest. That's also essentially a date together. So,
Oh, God.
It's not so much a date; they're spending time
just
together.
spending time together.
But
yeah,
one
so
might consider that a date. Like, if you're really...
Yeah.
what is a date if not spending time together?
Okay,
with
look.
together?
Now we're getting into some therapy levels of stuff, and
Look, so yeah,
I'm not paying y'all $25.
You're paying. That's where your Disney money.
Disney will pay us for therapy.
Oh, Disney, yes.
Give us
I
our
don't
money.
think-
Take
I don't
it
think
out
they
of my
will.
Disney money, thanks.
Yeah. So look, I think it's been so incredible. I mean, let's see where we end the season with them. But with a strong ending, this is like an all-time great. In this season romance arc.
Yes.
And then they're on track to be the premier, I feel like, animation couple when this is all said and done. I think we're charting past really anything we've seen.
I and I mean, this is kind of like, it's like on topic but off topic, but even in whatchamacallit, Labyrinth Runners, like handling the relationship between Amity and Willow, I thought that was so well done. Like, obviously it was a little like slightly cringy at first, but that's to be expected, and that was real. So and I
felt cringe, like, speaks to how well that really happens in real life if you're trying to like reform a friendship that ended on bad terms, and like,
and then trying to reform it, but you're trying to reform the friendship on terms
terms, like, not
and so just like how I enjoy that Amity's trying to like rekindle that relationship, like she's making that effort, and Willow wants that relationship to be revived, but they're tackling the, hey, we've grown up, we're different people, and so that, like, that's always like something, I guess, to kind of like, that just shows the a real relationship tackling that, because all the time you see people and they're like, oh, like, we separated, and even though Willow and Amity aren't dating, they're like, oh, we separated, but we're gonna like start over, but you're starting over on the wrong like fashion. And so we kind of see that like fumbling in this relationship, and I loved it, and I'm glad that they are friends again.
It's just very realistic again. Like, we don't even get like I mean, I think we kind of got like, and I'm sorry, essentially, but not like said outright, just that like Amity's learning, like,
yeah, clear Amity as caught up to Willow currently. We get to see this as a follow-up to their relationship is good now, but is everything back to how it was? No, but now we're getting, and this is a great follow-up to what we've seen.
And like,
previously.
it will never go back to the way it was, because they're,
but it's a new, it's a new thing because they've changed, and Amity's,
I was gonna say, it feels like Amity is like holding herself accountable too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and even though maybe she didn't say like, I'm sorry or anything along those lines, I think just in the way that they're like,
she made clear what she wanted, and then Willow also clarified what she wanted to, and then she's working with both of those expectations.
Yep. And you don't need an apology in that sense.
Yeah.
So I think it's great.
Just the way they show those relationships in general, not just romantic ones, is so good.
Yeah, and we get the Sailor Moon pose with them at the end.
Absolutely.
And Hunter interrupting it, which is a good meme format now.
Yep.
Hunter interrupts. But I love the best part of these 3 episodes, tying them together, I haven't mentioned yet, is the shared themes that we get from multiple plot lines. One of them clearly referenced at the end, but we get these characters wanting to protect another character and kind of underestimating their abilities. I see Amity with Willow tying into like Amity kind of underestimating or wanting to protect her, tying into Ida, what she's doing with Luz in the last episode, and also that ties into what we've seen Rain do with Ida, as Rain has been trying to protect Ida. We've seen over the last episodes the Rain Ida Luz dynamic is referenced explicitly by the show in the last episode. I loved that tying in of those, and there's just this general themes of characters just wanting to protect someone, but are you doing them someone service if you're really just trying to protect and sidelight them? And I think we saw that across multiple character relationships from the season recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Amity Willow stuff is great on its own. It's even better that it ties into other main stuff that the show is doing thematically. I thought that's great. Cool. Yeah. Rapid fire through other. We're full into the other topics now. Luz's palisman at the end of the episode. She's carving her new palisman.
Oh, I almost forgot about that.
This is where I wanted to bring back the cats versus the bats, because I've been seeing people theorizing for a long time that she's going to have a bat talisman because of her phone case, and I think because of some like art that Dana drew on the side that's like not technically
some
canon.
art, and then she texts with the bat.
That too, yes.
Too, yeah.
But then she has the cat hoodie. Now they're the cats. I don't know how to feel about it. I was talking about it with Alex because Amity has a cat, and it would feel a little weird if they both had cats, but also not really, because gays and cats go hand in hand.
Aly, this was my hot take too. What if Luz is a black cat palisman?
Okay, that
yes,
get behind. But also, I feel like I'm leaning more still towards the blue jay, because there's a bunch of reasons. One, palisman wood is blue, very simple. Two, the theme of the Clawthorns having birds for palisman. And that's my reasoning. But then there's also like people are like, oh, Hunter's going to be an honorary Clawthorn because he has a bird palisman. But then also if Philip's brother was like married to a Clawthorn, then it technically all ties in. I have no idea. But I think also a cat or a blue jay.
But I mean, in that regard too, that would almost sort of make the bat like appropriate.
Oh yeah, because it can fly.
Because
it's also
it can
the bat
fly.
queen, by the way.
Well, yeah, but
we'll see the bat queen come back.
Yeah, we need her.
But no, that would make sense because the Clawthorns are known for.
Oh, yeah, it's kind
birds.
of a bird. Yeah. Luz's version of a bird.
Exactly a bird, but she's not exactly a Clawthorn, even though.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
You know what I mean? So, but she's Ida's adopted child. So.
I think Alex also said that like maybe she'll make a Titan palisman because King's like, are you gonna carve me? How the hell would that work? I have no idea, but it would be funny.
It would be really cute. Can you imagine two little kings running around?
Oh.
Yeah, so will we open up the episode with similar to how Amity's was revealed with Luz's already made? I think probably, yeah.
I hope so.
My guess is still bat, I think. But
I like the idea of a bat now. I would
love the black cat. I want the Lumity cats, though. I think that's where I am.
Give us cats.
I'm sticking with bird.
Okay, we have three chances, three options. Well, probably it'll be something completely out of left field.
I know, that's like we said this before.
Like a
we
giraffe.
Can't trust anything. Like, oh my god, a giraffe.
That'd be funny. Representing what has been expelled from the wilds. Yeah. Okay.
Everyone's gonna be horrified. They don't know what a giraffe is.
Yeah, like what's this? Yeah. So we've next topic we've met. We talked about the illusion coven head Gray, who's like a play director, basically.
And he
treats it
abuses
as
Seraphine, who Dana voices amazingly.
Yeah. So we were hopeful that we would meet a nice coven head, but he seems not nice. Although he says he's more just like, I work for Bellows, you know.
Yeah.
He's goofy, like.
I thought the whole like you cut and you see like a movie set from the illusion. I thought that's a funny concept.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know he's fun. I don't know much more. We talked about Gus's illusion powers already. I don't think we need to go back. We talked about field trips. We see Gus and Hunter bonding in this episode.
So that's 3. Oh no, that's 4 for 4. Everyone's had a Hunter field trip.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's totally the Zuko.
Oh my god.
Hunter's our Zuko.
Someone has to be missing, though. Who's the top of the group?
Oh, gosh.
No, but they were great together, and I like that they both help each other with their anxieties is very fitting because they're both very damaged boys. Well, Hunter is obviously way more damaged, but everyone's traumatized in some way, and everyone needs therapy, so book your appointment today.
That's the conclusion from that episode. Okay. Yeah. No,
I want to know what because the Illusion Coven head was also exposed to memories. I'm wondering what they were, but also I don't really care because I don't care about him.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I don't care about him.
Rip. Huntlow, coming back to Huntlow, we have Hunter, Willow. To me, the big Huntlow moment was not even the 3-way hug at the end where Hunter blushes.
No, it was the blush Gus. And him recognizing that it wasn't Willow.
To me, that was like, I was like, whoa. It was like, Hunter, it's like, that's not the captain. I'm like,
the fact that he still
my heart.
The captain.
The captain, that's so good. That's such a good romance.
Went Doki Doki.
Oh my god.
Have you ever seen her on the court? Whoa.
Have you ever seen her dunk on him? Sorry.
I'm definitely convinced after this episode, Huntlow, it's not only like a thing that the show is doing in the background, they're like gonna be like side kissing at the end of the show.
My god. Also, I really like
they're gonna hold hands. It's gonna be great.
It was the moment where Hunter knew that it wasn't Willow, and that where Willow understood he was telling the truth because he mentioned Gus is helping him with the breathing exercise. I was like, it's good connected. It did, and it was so satisfying.
Because Gus learned the breathing exercise from Willow. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
and the three of them
Gus teaching that to Hunter was a good moment.
He needs it. He needs to learn how to breathe.
Thruple? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's polyamorous now. There's
Gus is too baby. I guess he's with Matt.
What is the name of the poly ship in Amphibia? It's Sashan Narcy. It's going to be like that.
I've never heard it do you guys pronounce it on the podcast? I would
I don't think
I would see it in text.
Don't think it was mentioned, but that's how I pronounce it.
All I heard was Schnancy, and I'm like, okay.
Nancy.
Yeah, it's Schnancy.
God.
I talked about the story about Luz and Ida, conflict over Ida wanting to keep Luz safe.
And I know I said that like that episode in general ended very lightheartedly, or at least in a way that I didn't expect it to end, but that was so painful. It was like a real mom and daughter fight about like, you know what's best for me. Mom, I'm going to my room. It just hit all the right beats.
Yeah.
It was, and I just was blown away by the animation in this episode.
So beautiful. I love that, like, they're fighting, but they're, like, Ida's not fighting. So
And it's Harpy Ida, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, presumably Harpy Ida needs to be involved in the finale.
Yeah, because that's her way of using magic, and I guess Lilith is going to use glyphs, so maybe they'll all.
Well,
use
they
glyphs.
both could use glyphs because they were learning earlier in the season. We haven't followed
Wait,
up with
why
them on
has
that.
we need Lilith to get a harpy version of herself? Why hasn't that happened yet? Hootie needs to send her on a magical trip. In her favorite rocket ship. Hootie's gonna.
That's a sentence. Yeah.
We don't have time for 20 more adventures, Aly.
No, but we need, it could happen in the background. She'll just be like, oh, Hootie gave me some cookies and there was something in them and I had the wackiest dream, and it'll be her in her harpy form saying all this, and they'll be like, oh, girl, you looking good. And she'll be like, what? Oh my God. It's happening.
Okay, there's the next fanfic because it's happening apparently.
That's going to be the end of the episode.
This felt like a fanfic. Steve and King's bonding in this episode.
Yeah, that felt... That was interesting.
What do you guys love about Steve? Tell me.
He's just a good boy. In the beginning when we saw him, he just wanted pats. That's all he wanted is recognition, and he just wanted to be a strong person. But then I really like the message that people can change and so can their wants, and that is really demonstrated through him and obviously King more importantly. But it was just good, and I appreciate that he was also like, why does Bellos think he knows what the Titan wants? What if the Titan doesn't even know what he wants? What if he's just like a dude? And it's just, he's a good boy. He's a very good boy, and I like his horn, and I'm glad that we got a face reveal, and I'm in shock that Dana just confirmed that it's Matt's brother, half-brother.
That's the biggest topic we discussed on this podcast, yeah.
Yes.
Also, on the part where they're on the beach, it's just really funny.
That's our beach day.
A lesbian couple and cried at them, but also it was pointed out that King is like running in the water and that he's immune to the boiling water because he's a Titan.
Interesting.
I didn't notice that before. Someone on Twitter posted it, so thank you. But also Steve crying at the lesbians, same. Me.
Old people, presumably.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a cute old couple, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was his... Oh,
and I like his motorcycle. Fun. He's a bad boy with a good heart.
He's like, I got a sidecar. Come for a trip.
There you go. And then the only other thing from that episode, Lilith, we're trying to worship Titan.
Very heavy-handed evangelical stuff, which was very funny.
Yes.
I guess that's what we're doing.
That was what I assumed. It's always a religious trauma thing.
It was so awkward. But at the same time, I was like, this isn't going to end, and I've accepted it.
I like that King was like, I'm sensing a pattern with you. This is what you did with Bellos, right?
Yeah, that was good. That
was
and even Steve pointed out, you need therapy. Get it.
That's true.
Everyone needs therapy.
And in the show, for sure, especially.
These guys especially need therapy.
But yeah, Lilith, I mean, I like this plotline as, it fits Lilith, and then also just commenting on the perception of Titans, which seems to be important, which we also did our Titans even evil, our Titans gods, these questions will be answered, presumably.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, Jesus.
Is that what this is?
No.
There's going to be a Dragon Ball reference.
That's what it made me feel like.
There was already.
Will anyone go Super Saiyan, like in another show, in this show?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I love whenever they have like little elements from other shows,
especially from anime.
Oh,
we didn't even talk about the Eva reference in what was it? Edge of the World, where they had the Spear of Longinus. I screamed.
Oh yeah.
Anime was a mistake.
You screamed because anime was a mistake?
Mm-hmm.
They chose violence.
April, any other things from the episodes you're thinking of?
No. I feel like I hit on everything I wanted to talk about.
Yay.
So, proud of that.
Proud of you.
Thanks.
Final thoughts?
I'm still very nervous for these two upcoming episodes. For the next 2 days, I don't know.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah, really though. I mean, not, because we still have quote unquote season 3.
That's when we really die.
That's when we really die.
Aly, anything else you're thinking from the episodes?
I just want to say that Ida and Rain's relationship is also, I like where it's going. The fact that, like, now they're together again and Ida knows that Rain was, like, in on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God, because we needed that. And also, like, my older couple shipper heart is being fed right now, and it feels very full. It's pretty much, we covered everything I wanted to talk about, too. I'm always excited to watch the show, and it has not disappointed at all, especially this season. Like, it just keeps not necessarily getting better, but it's just ramping up to what feels like a very properly anticipated finale. And I'm excited and terrified to see where it's going. And I don't want it to end. And I want the 3 specials to come out, but I also don't want those to end yet. Whenever they'll be coming out, I hope we get a little bit more of a hiatus than normally with a season, just because they're so short-lived. Props to the team for working with what you got, because you're doing a really great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Last thing is Bump's head thing comes off.
Oh, yeah, and we see his luscious locks again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
Finn from Adventure Time style. That was a very important thing.
Wow, is he older Finn? Is that a crossover?
Yes, okay. He's Finn.
Bump is the best,
reincarnated.
Yeah.
We have a lot of good theories on this podcast. First, the collector's related to Luz. Now, Bump is Finn. We don't know his first name.
You have a lot of good theories. These are you. These are all you.
You came up with that one. Do we know Bump's first name? I forgot about it.
Yeah, I think so, but it's something long. Yeah. Yeah.
Phineas. No.
Finn, because he's Finn. Is that why he's Phineas?
Yes.
Yeah. Phineas Bump.
Phineas the human Bump. That sounds bad.
They're all, look, which is humans, I think. That'll be the next thing we're talking about. There you go. Yep, good episodes, good discussion here. A lot of interesting... Now I'm just very hyped for the Lumity possibilities in the finale.
I'm really I need
You're
a Day of
welcome.
Black Sun kiss from them, but not as angsty.
Look, we kissed at the invasion, so I think it has to happen.
They're already together, so it'll be already less angsty.
Yeah, you don't even have to have that awkward conversation after you kiss at the invasion. If already together when kiss at the invasion, then everything's fine.
Uh-huh.
Then you don't need to interrupt the play, and we can just have the play normally, you know?
Oh.
So,
okay.
Well, that's what we're doing. Parody play coming next episode. What if though?
The Owl Children.
Yeah.
Who is it presented by? The Illusionist? I don't know.
Actually,
the Bards.
The Bird Hut.
Oh yeah, Bard Coven. There's so many dramatic people here. We could do it. There you go. Okay, so let us know your comments on anything we talked about here, wherever you're listening. We'll see what theories pay off. We have a lot of theories going into these last episodes, and we'll definitely get some answers on everything we're talking about. If you enjoyed this, you can consider supporting us via Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to all our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Damien. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, Steve, Michael, and Phoenician. So yeah, we will be back after the finale. We'll discuss it all.
Oh boy.
Not too long, 2 weeks. So excited to get into it all then. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Meow meow.